Okay, so I wanted to put together this yoga class as a thank you for my yoga instructor, Melissa West. I found you in 2011, just as my mom had passed away. She went beyond the veil, and I was at my worst. I think it was about 206 pounds. I could barely walk a mile, and I had a hard time just dealing with all the emotional pain that I was going through. I found your episode 72, and the timing had to be perfect. I remember my first experience with yoga well before I met you, which was back in London in about 2007. And my mom gave me some money, and she said, "Here, go take a yoga class and come back later." And the yoga instructor, which it was all females in the class, and I was doing everything wrong, and the yoga instructor had said, do a handstand. And I'm like, what? You just do a handstand. And so she took me to the edge of the room, and she lifted my legs up like that, just like that, and I could barely keep my hands were shaking. My body was, being forced into a position that I wasn't used to. After that, the next day I was sore all over. There was so much pain that I slept for a whole day, and gradually recuperated into a normal kind of, back to normal. Yoga has become a more permanent thing for me now. I couldn't see life without yoga. Yoga is actually has a very long history. The true origins, as I've read, are not known. Yoga is typically thought of as a feminine thing, that only girls do that, or it's even considered like only gay guys or whatever. But if you are, I remember on YouTube there was a guy who could barely walk from spinal damage from an accident he had as a paratrooper, that he fell hard, and he was pretty much like paralyzed. And I guess the physical therapist recommended yoga to him, and the guy can do a crow stand now. There's all good things that come out of yoga. There's different facets to it. There's the intellectual part, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana. There's also the paths to enlightenment. You have your chakras, which are your energy centers, and I've actually felt them at different times. And you don't necessarily realize when you're experiencing the chakral powers there, but some of them can occur at weird times. Like you might kind of just be wandering around, and maybe there's a car coming at you, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, I think I'm gonna die here, and then oh wait, there's that sacral chakra reminding you, hey, you've got something going on here. There's a car coming at you. So it's good. So it's good that the different points. I would like to say that I've felt all 7 of them, including the crown chakra. I remember reading Dan Millman's Peaceful Warrior, and that was the first time I experienced the chakras. He had like a simple diagram with he calls it the Tower of Enlightenment or something, and you can, as soon as I read that, I just boop 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 boop, and it felt like the energy that was just charging me up, and I guess I was I was enlightened in that regard. And but yoga is a lifelong thing, and there's different what do you call it, guides to read from, different instructors of different philosophies and goals. I like to think of my yoga is kind of an artistic exploration, a creative thing that that doesn't always have a definitive thing. Sometimes a means is to a means, or an ends is to an ends, as they say, and maybe that's it. Maybe that moment when you're enlightened about yourself, or about the world around you, or about your spiritual bodies. It's always meant at the right time or place. We don't necessarily have control over those things. So back to my yoga here. In this lesson, because I would consider this an advanced class, because I am not using props. I always, as a man, I like to make things harder for myself. So that means no props, no bolsters or anything. But I recommend you do it because, as Melissa would say, you must honor your body at all times. You don't want to put yourself in a space of extreme pain, or where something is broken or torn, or something that that would cause permanent damage over time. So what else? What else here? I guess, at this point, as Melissa would do, I would have you either lie on your back on a yoga mat, or a blanket, as I have here. I'm actually cheating with the blanket this time, giving myself a little bit of a break. And I would just breathe in, take a deep breath in, breathe out, and kind of feel out your body, listen for what it's trying to tell you. I know that when I first started with Melissa, I had a problem with my pinky, that it was going numb every time, and for some reason Melissa said, "Oh, ask that pinky, ask that pinky what's going on there." I said, "You know what? I'll try that." And I realized that it was in connection with my mother. There was something there that had been that had physically manifested in this pinky. So I said, "Well, how do I help this pinky? What is it you need?" And I realized that the old scout motto, this is my scout mudra or whatever, actually putting pressure on the pinky helped it, and the pain gradually went away. And I do it from time to time, and that pinky, that reminder, is there. I take another breath in, breathe out, and just kind of chill out and feel your body grounded into the ground or on your yoga mat. And just, leave your arms out beside you with your hands facing up, and kind of just listen in. Is there pain anywhere? Is your body asking you, saying, "Hey, I need help here"? Or can you can you give me a little exercise here so that I wake up here? Because if you haven't done yoga in a while, or if you've never done yoga, there are probably parts of your body that you weren't even aware are there. I have to say that remember to breathe in at your stomach and hold it, and then let it out. And then again, we're going through the chakral thing here, so you might want to put your hands on your stomach when you're doing the breathing. And this is obviously, my nerves are a little bit on fire here, but maybe that's my Vata dosha, I don't know. Okay, so the next part, you'd want to breathe at your ribs and let it out, and really kind of just feel where the breath is going, Just feel it going to your arms, feel it going to your chest, your sacral chakra, even your crown chakra, and while you're listening to this, there is dialogue going on in your mind that you're reasoning with all this, and there's always something that is coming in from the internal dialogue. So just kind of find, when you start listening to that, kind of listen for the intention. What is it you want to accomplish with this yoga? Do you want to increase your endurance? Do you have a hard time breathing? Are there any physical ailments you're looking to address through this yoga? Is there an emotional thing that you're, like anxiety or depression, that you're trying to counter through this yoga? What else? Assuming you're still lying on the ground, and you have your hands beside you, just breathe into your heart. And breathe out. And really, like, keep listening into that internal dialogue, and work with it, and try to find where that connection is to your body. I guess there's a part of me right now that's fighting something internal about myself, that I guess you could call it denial, and I guess with denial, it's like a self-defense that you put together if something goes wrong, and you're not so sure why it happened that way. The mind and the body always finds a way to protect you from it. So that's what I'm going through right now, emotionally and mentally. I'm dealing with denial about something. It might be different for you. For you, it might be that there's you're searching for something. Maybe you're trying to search for a connection to the world around you, because of the way we are bombarded with digital connectivity and TV and music. Well, music's a benefit out of all that, but being bombarded with information every day, it can take part of you with it. So I mean, if I'm watching TV and paying attention to the football game, I'm not necessarily thinking about how I'm physically feeling. And again, the same thing with news. There's so much depression and wrongdoings and injustices that it can hurt you too. So I mean, I think what Melissa would call this is a digital retreat. That if you felt like you are being bombarded by all of that, and it's overwhelmed to the point where you have lost that connection with yourself, then maybe it's time to shut off the computer for a little while, or keep the TV off for a week. And even that's a challenge too for some people, because there's so much going on simultaneously that we want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of that the world around us, and it's easy to want to see it and try to or have like that feeling of, oh great, I'm glad that wasn't me or something. So for this class, this is your yoga. You're trying to find your physical and your physical and spiritual uh, I guess enlightenment, and whatever works for you. And all right, so you're still on the ground, so take another deep breath. Breathe out. So yeah, at this point, what I would do is, since you're still on the ground, I would try to wiggle and kind of just come out of your shavasana there. Stretch a little bit, make sure everything's awake. Like I said, honor your body. If you get one of those kind of arthritic feelings where there's